Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. We're live on Twitch again, and this is absolutely my first take. This is my first take. Yes, there were no mistakes made prior to this, and we are live on Twitch covering the patch notes for the Midnight Masquerade, which is the next major update coming to Paladins. We've got a new event pass. We've got some very important and also very controversial news coming. And we've also got some balance changes.
YouTube daily reminder
spicy.
that you're cool and join the Twitch.
Yes, this is definitely the first time Nico sent that message, too. Definitely the first time. This is scuffed already. Let's go ahead and dive right in. For some reason, the balance changes are up first here in the update notes, so I guess we'll just get started with that. So we have Androxus up first with a very nice buff. Defiant Fist will now basically increase your bonus damage per shot from 15% to 20%. Meaning, instead of reaching max damage at, I think it's 7 shots, as it currently is, you'll now only need 5 shots to reach max damage. Which is a very good change, because ever since they made his fire rate slower, right, they changed out the weapon, Defiant Fist has been feeling pretty bad. You basically need the same amount of shots to charge up the amount of damage, but it takes longer to get those shots out because the fire rate is slower. So this is a very good change for Defiant Fist. And then yeah, Defiant Fist has also been made his default talent because Darkstalker being his default talent was just weird. Also important to note, Defiant Fist, or Darkstalker should be fixed. Should be fixed. Yeah, I guess that remains to be seen once we actually get to try the PTS. I want to see what this is like with Chronos now. So we should just be able to... Whoop, 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 whoop. Got another dash. There we go. And, okay. Basically have 4 dashes now, but then we get that cooldown reset on kill. And it looks like the cooldown reset on kill resets all the dashes. So, we can just keep rolling. It's almost so fast that I'm like missing up my dash flicks. Because we got the speed card in there as well. And the snap your movement of Darkstalker. This feels incredible. Also, we can see the bug fix of, hey, this revolver works now, I think. I still don't really care about the difference between the animations, but I'm sure some people do. This genuinely feels so amazing. I'm missing! I aimed higher up because I'm used to falling faster. This is gonna take some getting used to. I'm not used to these dash flicks yet with this snap your dash, but holy crap, I'm gonna play a lot more of this talent next patch. I just keep going! This is so much fun. Next up we have Ashe, getting 1 change. Fortress Breaker is now 500 health tankier, 25% increase to the shield health. That'll be a nice change. Not quite what I wanted. What I wanted to see was a slugshot buff to get more damage on that. But at least it's something for Ashe. Definitely happy to see that. Bomb King. It's Darkstalker all over again. Do you remember when they implemented the wrong Darkstalker? We were like, oh, we want Darkstalker back. Okay, here you go, but it was the wrong Darkstalker? It's that again. We wanted the speed card nerfed. They nerfed the wrong speed card.
Get BKD nerd lol.
That's the wrong speed card. Everyone is talking about shock and awe. Do people even use Royal Decree? I just run max ammo card, dude. Like, the wrong speed card. I swear. Oh my gosh, Evil Mojo, please do better. This is ridiculous. This is, come on, guys. That's disappointing. That is not the BK nerf we needed. That is the wrong speed card. I'm so mad. Okay, anyways. Next up we have Furia. They actually talked about this in the update show. Also, dude, this is looking crisp. Apparently they changed how they display the update notes to make them look cleaner. This is looking clean. But yeah, they basically changed the keywords from Solar Blessing and Cherish, and they're also changing how both of these talents work. So Cherish is now her main healing talent as far as the keyword is concerned. So it gets the curative buff, it gets the 20% increased healing. Solar Blessing is now the hybrid talent, it gets the healing and it gets the increased damage. Cherish now applies on maximum health instead of missing health. So hopefully it should mean that you get more consistent bursts, but to compensate for that, they nerfed it by 3%. So we'll have to see how this plays out when it comes to, how New Cherish works, how it applies particularly to tanks. We'll see if this burst is significantly better than it previously was. It already should be better than it was because of Curative, but will this change in particular make it magnitudes greater, or will it just be kind of, mush? We'll see about that. But I think the more shocking change here is the Solar Blessing. Solar Blessing now applies a healing over time effect to allies who pass through the beam for 1.5 seconds after leaving its radius. So you no longer have to stand in one place for the beam. Now the question that remains unanswered is, how powerful will the healing over time be? If the healing over time is the same healing per second as the actual beam itself, then that is overpowered. But if it's weaker, then I think this is a sensible change. It makes Solar Blessing more reliable. And also a fun little thing you can do now with Solar Blessing is, since it's affected by Remedy, Off-Brand Exterminate is more powerful. I know sometimes with Solar Blessing you want to pop a beam on an enemy who comes to attack you. Well, that'll be more effective. It'll be more like Exterminate. So that's something silly as well. Pew, 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 pew. That was a 1200 burst heal. I'm going to let him get even lower. That was also a 1200 burst heal, and now he's dead. Okay, so let's get him shot like twice. That was also a 1200 burst heal. Okay. So Cherish. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually how we originally thought it was going to be, where now it scales the healing based on how much health you have. So if you're a tank, you're going to get that 1200 burst heal like you saw in Fernando. But if you are a squishy, you're probably only going to get like 1,000 or even less. And it has nothing to do with your health that's missing anymore. So it's not like if you're low, you're going to get more healing. Now it's just, if you have more health, you get more healing. So this is percent-based healing, just like how I was suggesting actually for Genos to get a few patches ago before he got buffed. Okay, did not expect Furia to be the one to get the percent-based heal here. But Cherish is now a percent-based heal that scales with max health, just like Rom's Subservience. Okay. And then Solar Blessing. So, the way we can test this Solar Blessing change is by not stopping the beam on Fernando and just letting it run through him. So, we're going to let him get shot. Does that look shinier? Okay. We're going to let him get shot, and then we're going to pass the beam through. Okay. Wait, I think that's actually the same. I think that's actually the same. Okay, do that. Do this. That's the same healing per second as if we stopped it on him, if we just pass it through. Also, the heal's now less than 1,000 on Soul Blessing. Okay, so we do this. That's the same healing per second. Wow. But it seems like the healing is worse, which it should be because it's now 10% instead of 20%. Let me math this out. So, calculator. We get 1. Sorry, I forgot I can't use my numpad. Okay, 150 over 0.1 second is 1,500 healing per second. Okay, so yeah, that's significantly worse. Yeah, okay, so that's not like the 3,000 healing per second that we were used to in the past. But then multiply that by 1.1 for this, and we get 1,650 healing per second. Okay. Interesting. Interesting change. I'm still totally not a fan of the keyword changes. We've had a lot of time to play with them now, and I think they've totally screwed up the balance for the 4 champions who they're on. So I still want to see these be reverted, but at least they're trying to make it work, and if this still doesn't work, hopefully they'll just revert it. I still think it should be reverted, but anyways, there's Furia balance for you. Next up is Imani, with some changes that might originally seem like buffs, but I actually think are going to be nerfs. So, let's start with the elephant in the room. Elemental Shift is getting its cooldown reduced from 6 seconds to 1 second, which is a big deal. You can currently do this with the card Affinity, which we'll talk about later, but yeah, it required a level 5 card. And the thing you can do with Imani is you can run Affinity at level 5 to get Elemental Shift down to 1 second. And then you have 2 more cooldown reset cards, which both apply when you Elemental Shift. So you can reduce the cooldown of Frostfire Glide and the cooldown of her Frost Bomb and Inferno Cannon with the other 2 cards at level 4. So basically you can use your abilities and then just Elemental Shift, Elemental Shift, Elemental Shift, get your abilities back. Super fast. And at face value, this seems like a great change. Okay, now I don't have to run Affinity and I can use those cards and I can pop off. Except, Down here, Discipline, Draconic Will, and Elemental Barrier now have an internal cooldown of 5 seconds to account for faster Elemental Shift. So even though you don't have to run Affinity in your build now, you're still not actually getting the potent cooldown reduction that Imani is famous for with that playstyle. And a 5-second internal cooldown is a big deal, because you can do basically 5 Elemental Shifts during that. Elemental Shift, you get the impact of the cards, but then you can Elemental Shift like 4 more times, and you won't get any impact out of that. So even with Chronos 3 now, I think the cooldown reset build is kind of dead. And yeah, also to compensate, they're reducing the cooldown of Frostbomb and Inferno Cannon by 2 seconds, which does save out on one of those instances where you need to Elemental Shift to get the cooldown reduction. But we're going to have to test this on the PTS. I played a game with it in live servers, and we're going to do a comparison video once the PTS comes out, before and after. But yeah, this does actually have me a bit concerned. Honestly, what I would have done is I wouldn't have added this internal cooldown. I would have just put Affinity into base kit and let people see what Imani's like now that they can put another card in. You know, you could run the health card at level 5, or you could maybe split those 5 points into, like, Frostfire Glide speed and Inferno Cannon speed. You could do that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I would have done that. I wouldn't have bothered with internal cooldowns yet. Or at the very least, I think 5 seconds is too drastic. 3 seconds, maybe? But 5 seconds is crazy. Also, why does Imani get punished with internal cooldowns, but 7 doesn't? Really? Anyways, Affinity now will apply damage reduction for 2 seconds after activating Elemental Shift, which, you know, would have really good uptime, except it does have an internal cooldown of 8 seconds, so you can't just have permanent 25% damage reduction, but still pretty interesting. And then Frostbolt is getting a damage buff. In my opinion, Frostbolt doesn't need a damage buff, it needs a fire rate increase, because it needs more of an identity separation from the, you know, the fire stance. The fire stance is meant to be big, slow, powerful burst, right? Charge up a fireball, shoot it out, that's 1,000 bursts. Powerful burst, but slow. Frostbolt should be fast and consistent, but not bursty. They're increasing the burst of it instead of increasing the fire rate of it, and so, you know, it still doesn't feel as distinct as if they were to make it shoot faster. So that's what I would have done to buff Frostbolt. Also, 20 extra damage I don't think is really going to matter that much. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to the cooldown reduction playstyle. So we can just go Splitting Ice here, and we can go for this build. This is on the live servers, so we have Affinity at level 5, reducing the cooldown of Elemental Shift to 1 second, and then we have Discipline and Draconic Will at level 4. This is basically the standard cooldown spam build for Imani, where you're using an Elemental Shift to reduce the cooldown of all the rest of your abilities. And check this out, this is with no Chronos, so we're going to spam our abilities as usual. So bam, let's go for a Frostfire Glide, and then switch into an Inferno Cannon. There we go. And then switch, and then I can switch again, and I can switch again, and I have my abilities back. Okay, that's pretty good, but it can be better. So we can get Chronos 3, and now with Chronos 3, we're going to be able to spam even better. So we can do this, da-da-da-da-da. I've kind of messed up my rhythm a little bit, but that's okay, because we can do this now, and then we can switch again. We got another Frostfire Glide, and another Frostbomb. There we go. And then I can switch again, and I have my Inferno Cannon. And honestly, with Chronos 3 and this build, you basically don't even really need to shoot, because you have constant uptime on all your abilities. You know, there's a little bit of delay, like that, like a little bit of a half a second where you could get like one shot in, but otherwise it's a constant stream of Inferno Cannons and Frost Bombs. And it is super fun, but it's also not overpowered. Imani, of course, is nowhere near top tier. So, you know, no one's really been complaining about Imani being busted. It's a fun playstyle, and yeah, honestly, it does not really work on the PTS. So I'm going to show you that now. And you also have to keep in mind, Frostbomb and Inferno Cannon now have a 13-second cooldown. So, let's use Frostbomb. Bam. Let's use this. Well, bam. And Inferno Cannon. There we go. But now we switch stance, we have our Ice Bomb back, and then we have our Frostfire Glide back, but it is a little bit slower. On live servers, this was instant, and now we got our Inferno Cannon back. Then we switch stance. I still don't have my Frostfire Glide back. I would have had that back on live servers. We do this. Switch stances. My Inferno Cannon only just comes back now. This is Chronos 3, mind you. This is actually a little bit less fluid. However, I will point out, this isn't as bad as I thought with Chronos 3. Let's try it without Chronos 3. Do. And then change champion back to Imani.
Got the cash
Here we go,
to
splitting
hero.
ice main.
With
Alright, try it again.
from me to you.
13-second cooldown on that now, instead of 9. And then do the Inferno Cannon. And then do this, and we don't get any cooldown reduction. And look at that, my abilities aren't back. On live servers, I would have gotten those abilities back, like, you know, like literally 2 seconds fast. Like, it would have been so much faster. We could do this again. Do. Switch into stuff, do a normal Imani gaming. There goes my Inferno Cannon. Okay, let's switch back. We still have to wait like 5 seconds. This is really where it hurts before you can build up Chronos. And then once you build up Chronos, it is still less fluid. All because of the internal cooldowns. So I was right, this is actually a nerf. This is actually a straight up nerf. Up next is Terminus, who's getting 2 changes here, which I haven't seen yet. Shatterfall now has its cooldown reset on use of Revival. That's a pretty good buff to his ultimate. You can ult and then instantly get your movement ability back. Got some Leviathan Terminus gameplay up in here. And then Playing God. Heal gain from Power Siphon increased by 2% per tier. So from 15% up to 25% at max, which is interesting, but I don't think this card is going to solve Terminus' issues.
Right!
As a matter of fact, does anyone even use this card? I don't think so. Next up is Willo. Reduce cooldown of seedlings by 2 seconds and increase ammo on weapon by 1 ammo. Small changes. This actually, though, is going to be a big deal when it comes to Scorn gameplay. Of course, Scorn isn't exactly the most reliable talent, but it means you'll need to hit fewer people to get a seedling back instantly, which is pretty powerful.
I'm back.
Next up is Vatu. Oh man, they really are only doing 1 change. They showed this in the update show, and I hoped that they would do more, but it looks like this is all that we're getting for Vatu. Vatu, the top tier flank in the realm right now, who was top tier even when Androxus and 7 were top tier, is only getting his DR on dash cut in half. Which, he should not have DR on dash at all. It should not exist. The reason why is, you know, his dash is meant for evasion. It's survival through evasion. You dodge damage. But if someone is skillful enough to hit you and track you through dash, they should not be penalized by doing less damage to you, right? They should be rewarded by being able to get that damage. So this is just a nonsense thing, and it's been a nonsense thing since its inception. Like, it makes about as much sense as if Eevee had damage reduction during Soar, which would completely make the character busted. This is not okay. Should be gone just entirely, but it is a very drastic nerf on the actual DR value nonetheless. But I think it should just be gone entirely. Next up, we got Yagorath. Reduce the cooldown of Form Swap basically in half, from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. In practice, this will make her form swaps take 1 second for each form, roughly. So making her a bit faster. Interesting change. And that's all the balance. Okay. Honestly, a bit disappointing. There's some good stuff in here. I think the Androxus changes are great. I think the Ashe change is pretty good. Bomb King is wholly disappointing. Furia is interesting, but I'm still salty about the keywords. Imani seems like it'll actually be more of a nerf than a buff. Terminus is good, actually, but he needs more. Willo is actually pretty good, that's fair. But Vatu, man, not enough done. Yagorath is interesting. A lot of it's just a... Okay, it's actually a lot of it's pretty, like, okay, but... Yeah, I would have liked to see more for Bomb King and for Vatu. Wait. What is this? Beginning with the Midnight Masquerade patch, casual modes will be rotated in response to community feedback and fatigue, allowing us to introduce fresh experiences. Siege will always be in no matter what, but the remaining 2 slots will be rotated for the entirety of the Midnight Masquerade patch. Choose Any and Onslaught will be rotated out. Team Deathmatch and Payload will be rotated in. So... they're doing a rotation of permanent game modes now. So, like, real game modes will be unavailable in some patches now? That's weird. So I guess next patch you won't be able to play Onslaught anymore. And then Choose Any will be gone and will return to regular Team Deathmatch. And then Payload will be a permanent fixture, which I guess will be available on weekends now, so that's a big win for Payload. I think the reason they're doing this is because they don't want to separate game modes too much. But, what if I want to play some Onslaught, man? Interesting. I don't know. I guess there will be 3 game modes next patch. Honestly, what I would do is, like, if we're worried about separating queues, what if we just had an arcade queue which had every game mode in it, except Siege? So you could queue for Siege, or you could queue Arcade, which has Payload, Team Deathmatch, Onslaught, King of the Hill in it, or queue Ranked. Maybe that would solve the problem without actually removing game modes. I don't know. Weird change. That came totally out of left field. They didn't talk about that in the patch show. That's going to be another controversial change. This update is full of controversy. We got bug fixes here. Okay, they're not even addressing the other two controversial things in this update, and they're also not talking about the LTMs. Wow. Okay. Well, let me talk about the controversial changes then. Let's do Switch first. So, Switch is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Switch will no longer be supported in Paladins at all. And they actually have a blog post about this, so we can kind of back out and read that. Sunsetting on Nintendo Switch. So Switch is basically going to be discontinued. It's going to receive the Midnight Masquerade update. So next patch, you'll be able to play it on Switch. But after that, Switch will be basically taken off of the Switch store. It'll be made unavailable. You won't be able to play. And the reason for this is basically that the Switch port just absolutely blows. It sucks. You crash every game. Every other game. It's not good. It's not a good experience.
Anybody
and it's been
on
like
Switch,
this for...
time to switch. Please laugh.
But no, seriously. This platform sucked when it came to actual performance. And a lot of sacrifices were also made in the game itself to enable it to even be played on Switch in the first place. Details were taken out of maps, like Brightmarsh used to have a lot more decorations on it. Primal Court lost its leaves. It's a jungle map and it has no leaves, because they got taken away for the Switch port. Loading animations, and, you know, even recently when it came to making Payload, they had to completely destroy the floor on some of those maps because Switch wasn't able to play it. And it wasn't even available when the only map was Outpost, because again, Switch couldn't play it. It was just, it's so unoptimized. And so, ultimately, this is a very tough decision for them to make, and it's a very tough, bittersweet thing. Because it also sucks for anyone who only was able to play this game on Switch. Not everyone can afford an Xbox, or a PlayStation, or, you know, a PC. And so for some people, this was all they had. And now they won't be able to play Paladins anymore. And this is definitely going to lose Paladins a lot of players. But it also means that they'll be able to do more changes in the future that will ultimately be more ambitious that they wouldn't be able to do if they had to all support it to Switch. So, like, basically the experience for other platforms should hopefully improve, is what I think the thought process will be. And hopefully, and my hope is that we'll also be able to hopefully restore some of the changes that were made that made Paladins worse, but made it run on Switch. Like, I'd love to see some of the decorations for old maps come back. I'd love for, you know, champion loading animations to return. I'd love for the backgrounds to be 3D again. We lost 3D backgrounds because of Switch. I'd love to see some of those changes return to the game again, now that we no longer have to support this piece of crap. This absolute piece of crap. Because, yeah, Switch, it doesn't run very well. The sacrifice they make for the flexibility of being able to play wherever you want and have all these controller options and stuff like that is that the hardware is not that good. So, yeah, this is a very bittersweet change, a very controversial change, I'm sure. I can definitely see the positive in this, but, you know, my heart also breaks for the people who will not be able to play Paladins anymore, who loved Paladins despite the Switch experience and will no longer be able to play. So, very controversial, bittersweet change. But the next controversial change, which is not listed here, but they did talk about in the update show, kind of in detail, is that Ranked now has Crossplay, which is its own can of worms. So now PlayStation, Xbox players, and also keyboard and mouse, or I guess PC controller players, right? PC controller players will be able to queue up in the same lobby as keyboard and mouse players in Ranked. Basically our current casual situation, but for Ranked. And this has me concerned because of the absolute strength of aim assist in this game. It's going to really throw off the draft because, as you know, console and PC have two distinct metas. What's good on controller is not necessarily good on keyboard and vice versa, because of the way that aim assist works. So, yeah, you're basically going to have skilled controller players who basically at this point have legal aim hacks because of their aim assist, picking Talus or Lex and absolutely terrorizing these lobbies. Conversely, you're now going to have controller players who are not as skilled as your Grandmaster controller players, getting dunked on by keyboard and mouse players who are able to more effectively use Mave, Eevee, Bomb King, etc. So I think this is going to ultimately worsen the competitive integrity of Ranked. Not that there's much competitive integrity to begin with, considering I can get fresh installs in my Masters lobbies, but it's going to hurt it even more, I think. But there is also the argument to be made that, since there are more players in the actual pool itself, maybe we'll have more instances where we'll get full Diamond lobbies, or full Masters lobbies, or something like that. And also the ranked times should hopefully improve. But I think I'd rather not have crossplay and have longer ranked queue times than have crossplay and have the shorter queue times, in my personal opinion. But we're going to have to test it out. We're going to have to see how it feels. Maybe we're kind of just fear-baiting. Maybe we are getting more scared than we should be. After all, in casuals, it's not like casuals are unplayable. So maybe we're exaggerating things. But maybe we're not. It's really just something we're going to have to kind of experiment with. And if it sucks, if everyone's just like, nah, this isn't actually very good, hopefully they'll walk back this change if that's what's needed. But if it's not needed, then I guess all is good. Another very controversial change. So much controversy. We're rotating out Onslaught. We're killing Switch. We're adding crossplay into Ranked. This is one of the most controversial updates I think we've had in years, which is saying a lot. So yeah, lots of stuff to really talk about. I'd love to hear people's opinions on this, especially in the comments. Comment below, of course. Or if you're in the Twitch chat right now, I mean, I guess you can express your thoughts already, so have fun with that. There's also an event pass, which I guess is just completely absent from the patch notes for some reason. And I guess we can just kind of showcase those skins. For the video, obviously I'm going to have that kind of up here. So level 1, of course, we got Crimson Crow. Oh, that's why he's wearing a Plague Doctor mask, because he's Corvus, and it's a crow mask. Oh, okay, that actually... I appreciate that more now. But yeah, that's the Corvus skin. We'll try all of these in-game, of course. We got this border, center stage. We got Roses in the Rough. Spray here. We got Rise of Ceres, just a Ceres avatar. Recolor of the Corvus skin. And we've got more avatars here. Unmasked. Cat Got Your Tongue for the Caspian skin. We've got this, which I assume is a 3D spray. And we've got another border here, looking pretty wicked. Garden of Death. Got Crimson Corset. Got a spray. Okay.
Life's a masquerade.
And then, yep, Vora. Pretty nice skin. Oh my gosh, her fingers. Yikes. I think she needs to get those things checked out. That does not look healthy. Lion's Pride. Ha, get it, Pride, because it's Caspian. More stuff here, more stuff here. Hey, that's a death card. Looking better than the Pepper death card, but that's not saying much. And then, arguably the better recolor of this skin, in my opinion. And that's the event pass. And yeah, this is the, I guess, default version of the skin, which is blue and gold. And again, this skin looks so sick with the color scheme. Love the color scheme so much. But then the projectiles are purple, and it kind of just ruins the whole thing. But yeah, lots of thirst for the chat, I'm sure. Lots and lots of thirst for the chat. And yeah, let's see. Also, here's this one. The recolor, black and red. Okay, so here's the Corvus skin. He's got a candle on his weapon, and honestly, this version of the skin looks a lot less shiny than the original, which is good. Get a weapon inspect on that dagger. Never mind, it is really shiny. Definitely a very gothic-looking dagger, and I actually like the model of the gun, but of course, it does have the candle on top, which is certainly very interesting. So yeah, sound effects. Here's the gun.
Killing spree.
It's so rattly.
Le Dublé. That's 5 in a row.
Not bad. And then let's do the dagger. It's red. It's got like little flower petals on it. It reminds me very much of the Ruby Rose visual effects, actually. Let's do that again. Very reminiscent of Ruby effects. Next up, the Mark. Yeah, Mark looks the same, but of course when we heal... I like that sound effect.
I feel stronger, healer.
That's pretty solid. Alright, I like that. And then let's do the ultimate.
Behold the power of my abyss!
I can't take that seriously, dude. Behold the power of my abyss. What is your abyss, Corvus? Jeez, dude.
Right behind you.
But yeah, pretty decent visual effects.
These pockets can only fit so many. My abyss!
I think I prefer the default effects more. The lightning orb. But yeah. Overall, I mean, the effects are mostly nice for the skin. Weapon effects are nice, heal effects are nice. Dagger's pretty cool. Let's do some voice lines now.
Hey there. I love you. I love you.
That's like a sultry version of the cuddly Yagorath skin saying I love you. Oh, that's good.
Fantastic. Solid job, friend. Darn it! Oh, that's unfortunate.
Definitely gives Vampire Corvus skin vibes.
Well, I am pretty great, if I do say so myself.
But that is kind of just the general theme of this whole event pass, right? Sort of gothic masquerade stuff, which is very similar to the vampire aesthetic. Let's do some jokes.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Or you? Or everyone in this match? Why is everyone so good-looking? Help!
Help! I love that help at the end.
Huh?
My builds are still outdated. That is really blood red. I think the blue looked a little bit better. That is so red. Wow, that is vibrant. That is really, really red. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, here's the skin in third person. Looking pretty sick. Of course. Yes, you could say he's the pride of this event pass. Get it? Because he's Caspian, and he's Pan. Anyways, bad jokes aside, bad puns aside. Moment of truth. Is it purple? Oh, it's red! Yes! Okay, it's red. If this was purple, I was gonna cry. Because the blue skin has purple effects. Okay, good. We're saved, chat. We're saved. Dang, the thrust with his sword looks, a bit wild. Oh my gosh, can I get a weapon inspect on the sword, please? No, I can't. Please. Ah! It's weird because it's like, instead of being a pinpoint needle, it's more like a... like, wider broadsword, almost? Still not like a total broadsword, but like, you get my point, right? At least that's how it feels. Jeez, these effects are so red, though. These guns are so red. It's almost hard to look at. Here's the dash. Loving that red dash, dude. Rogue's tempo. Yep. And then let's do the ultimate. They aren't swords. They're roses. Oh. Oh, that sound design is satisfying. That was very satisfying.
Savage.
They definitely nailed that sound effect. That was good. Very nice. Yeah, overall, very happy to see Caspian finally get a skin. Took long enough. But, yeah, pretty nice. Honestly, now, I want to see... maybe they lied to us in the update show. I want to equip the other one and see if it's still purple. I know they probably didn't change it, but, like... Listen, I want to dream, okay? I want to hope. Please. And also we can kind of see how the blue weapons look too. So, here we go. Caspian. And then, same stuff. Yeah, I feel like the blue is so much easier to look at. I don't know what's different, if it's just like the color, or if it's also like the effects on it. Or just how they did the gradient, but... I feel like this is so much better to look at. And also the third person. This looks really good. I totally dig the color scheme on this. Like, the color scheme is 10 out of 10. These colors work so well together. Really good. But yeah. Nah, man, it's purple!
Blood everywhere.
Why aren't they blue? Why?
It's a Tripski.
I'm a huge sucker for purple. But you gotta use purple in the right setting. It's gotta match. Nothing on this skin is purple. So why are the effects purple? Right? You've got red on the other skin, so the effects are red. Why is this purple? Doesn't make sense. But yeah, here's the ultimate.
Of life and death!
Those are also purple, yeah. God, that's still so satisfying, though. Caspian's is still one of the most satisfying ultimates in this game when it works.
So many elegant
Alright,
choices.
voice line time.
Let's acquire what we can and get back out there. Why, hello.
Magnifique!
Ew, he's French.
You are quite impressive.
Curses!
How unfortunate.
VGS protection. Alright, let's do a joke.
Goodness, you're a boring creature. If I stole your identity, I'd give it back immediately.
If I stole your identity, I'd give it back immediately. That's rough.
I truly am unrivaled in every way. Bravo!
I think the Corvus voice pack was better because it was funnier. But, yeah. It is like the Vampire Corvus skin, that's true.
Me. I almost
VHS?
forgot to
Okay.
spend all these
Need
credits.
healing! Need healing!
Nothing special there. Yeah, I think the Corvus voice pack was better. I do like the model of this skin, though. Looking pretty sick. I want there to be blue effects, and then it's perfect, honestly. Yeah, and this is the recolor of the Vora skin as well. Kind of like a deadly, creepy, gothic ballerina, which is literally peak Vora. This is Vora. Absolutely fantastic. Color scheme on this skin works 10 out of 10. I mean, it's supposed to be gothic, creepy, almost like a doll, almost. So yeah, really nailed it with this skin. Knocked it out of the park. And again, I'm so happy to see Vora get another skin because she has Galactic Conqueror, which is amazing, but it came out on release. And then the only other skin she's gotten thus far has been Ruby, which was very bad, or just very mid. So, yeah, let's get into these effects. This scythe looks sick. Let's get a weapon inspect. This looks like the right amount of, like the right balance between creepy and elegant. And then, yeah, let's do this. Sound design is nice. I still feel like the projectile is weird, though. I'm not sure if I like the dots in between. It's like it's fragmented among like a bunch of petals or something. Also very similar to the Ruby effect, definitely. Dark Siphon?
If one cannot breathe, one cannot eat. But perhaps we should still buy something.
Okay. Let's do the Dark Siphon out here.
Would it
Looking
pay
sharp.
to wear
Again,
some
looks like
color?
Ruby Rose. These visual effects are very similar to Ruby Rose, this patch. And then Obliterate. Yeah, pretty solid. Let's do the Tendril. I'm very curious. Oh, do you hear that sound effect? That sounds kind of gross, but like in a good way. Yeah.
Please spend these coins. My victims can
Very
hear me
solid.
rattle.
And of course the ultimate. Can't forget the ultimate.
Armageddon approaches! Dance to the death.
Yeah, pretty good. Definitely sounds better than Team Ruby approaches. Oh. God, I hate that skin. Okay, let's do voice lines now.
Hello. Well pipped in place. Asombrosa.
Is that Spanish?
I sharpened my wit, my wardrobe, and my scythe. A lady could never. Oh, it's just a spot. Bien hecho.
What? Yeah, no, sure.
Bien hecho.
All right!
Oh wait, no, Bien hecho. Bien hecho. Bien hecho.
Bien hecho.
Ah,
Point
it is
A,
Spanish.
to the
Okay,
point.
good.
If one cannot breathe, one cannot eat.
She said something
But
French
perhaps we
at
should
one
still buy
point.
something.
She speaks all the languages. Anyways, let's do a joke as well. Please, let's do a joke as well, please. Vora! Vora, please.
Help! Need healing! My therapist says I have a preoccupation with vengeance. We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. Corvus still has the best joke out of them all so far, from what I've heard. Honestly, the voice pack is like... On the one hand, I feel like it's off, because I feel like she should be creepier than this. But on the other hand, it totally makes sense, considering the theme of the event. Kind of this creepy, gothic ball with, like, rich nobles who are also secretly kind of sort of evil. Yeah, pretty good. I think definitely this is the best skin of the update, at least when it comes to the visuals. Very, very solid. Very happy with this voice skin, for sure. Anyways, that must have been awkward for Twitch chat because they can't see any of the skins I'm talking about, but the YouTube video can. Let's talk about bug fixes. Let's see. So yeah, Androxus fixed an issue where Androxus' Darkstalker talent was not separating cooldowns properly. Of each charge of Nether Step Prosperity. I smell a typo. Cryptic. How dare you? You've made a critical mistake, and I can never trust you again. This is completely unacceptable, and honestly, you deserve to have 5 cents taken out of your paycheck. This is unacceptable, and absolutely just shameful. And also, apparently, they fixed the animations for Steam Demon and Shattermaw skins. Azan fixed an issue where Azan's lore description was replaced by Nyx. The irony is not lost on us. I didn't even notice that. That's hilarious. Fixed an issue where the projectile from Betty's ultimate Long Live the Queen could get stuck in her model if she used her ultimate at the end of a round. Oh yeah, the big rocket just up in her gut. That was that was a funny glitch when it happened. Fernando fixed an issue where the skin was using the incorrect art. Updated Fernando's shield ability description to mention the self-slow effect. Oh boy, okay. Minor thing. Fixed an issue where Golden Khan's loading art was incorrect. Yep, that's good. Fixed an issue where Koga could respawn with less than full energy in some game modes. I didn't realize that's a thing, but that's a good bug fix. Nyx. Yes! This is what I'm looking for! Fixed an issue where Nyx's weapon shots could dry fire against enemies. No regging, basically. The no regging will be fixed. And fixed an issue where Nyx's weapon shots would not hit enemies properly if there was a shield behind them. So, yeah, very good bug fixes here for Nyx. That's going to really make her feel good to play. Fixed a grammatical error in Shaolin's crippling arrow ability. Okay, so you can fix the grammatical error there, but you can't fix the grammatical error up here. Okay. Fix an issue with Ceres's VFX on her emote. Updated Terminus' power siphon ability to mention the self-slow. A lot of these bug fixes aren't really bug fixes, they're just like fixing wording. We got a few really good bug fixes here, like for Androxus and for Nyx. I agree with the people in chat, disappointed that there are no Imani bug fixes. Her ultimate in particular is very buggy right now. And then in general, updated the names of all the payload maps to correspond to their beta names. Good. And they updated Outpost's name to Greenwood Outpost. Hey, that's cool. That's a good change. I mean, it's not a super serious change, but I like it. Hopefully they fix the splash art as well, instead of using the test map splash art. Fix an issue where the rewards for Season 6 ranked were misaligned. Updated the spacebar keybind. Okay. I mean, I can't be mad because these are all good changes, but like they're not as serious as I would like. There's nothing in here mentioning anything about any of the social party tab issues being fixed. As you guys know, if you've been around my streams for any length of time, that is like the buggiest system in Paladins at the moment. Imani still is weird. But yeah, I mean, Nyx changes, Androxus changes are huge. Tell you what though, something that's missing as well that I just realized. There's no mention of the Genos card fixes or the Sky card fixes. Both of them have bugged cards that have been bugged since last patch. When they changed Sky and they, buffed Genos, those cards don't work now. The duration card and the range card for Genos, and then the cooldown reduction card for Sky. So those need to be fixed, and I don't see any mention of that here. So either they didn't actually fix it, which sucks, or they didn't mention it, which wouldn't actually shock me, considering they totally forgot to remark about the event pass, and they also forgot about the the entire thing about Switch shutting down and ranked crossplay being a thing. So weird patch notes this time around. Balance is overall okay, but needed to see more for Bomb King. They nerfed the total wrong thing about Bomb King, and needed to see more for Vatu. And could have also seen more for Terminus, but this is at least a step in the right direction. And yeah, 3 massive controversial changes. Like, cannot understate the controversy there. And then a lot of good bug fixes, but not like super serious bug fixes for everyone except Androxus, Nyx, and then Genos Skybug fixes are absent. So, and yeah, also no payload bug fixes either. They've changed the name of the maps to be proper, which is good, but I'm not seeing anything about cauterize being fixed, or matchmaking being fixed, or, you know, the bug where if you don't own a champion, they still show up as selectable, but then you can't actually select them, so the match cancels. That bug's not fixed. Remounting's not fixed. Being able to change your loadout is not fixed. Payload has a lot of bugs, and I'm not seeing any bug fixes here for that. So, I don't know if just the update notes are not complete when it comes to some of these, or if, you know, it really is just that underwhelming, but I guess that remains to be seen. But anyways, short patch notes here today. Let me know your thoughts, of course, about all of this stuff in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people already have, but yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I will be covering all of these changes on the PTS when it comes out, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, also check out the Twitch channel where we're live now. Check out the Discord server linked in the description. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.